right, welcome to Spartan Wrestling Club. My name is Drew Close, and I am the club director, one of the coaches, and what we're going to do tonight is share a ton of information with you and get you acquainted with wrestling if you're brand new to it. If this is a second season, third season, fourth season for you, hopefully you pick up some information that you didn't know before, and you know something about the season that prepares you and your wrestlers to have a great experience. So first things first, I want to get some introductions done. We've got more than a handful of coaches with us tonight, but we've got a ton of coaches on staff. Our head coach is Coach Josh Jorth. We've got Coach Matt McDonald, Vernon Luckett, Jay McDonald, and Ed Davis. So we've got more coaches that are otherwise obligated to different things, like good people are. And then this year we are so fortunate to have 9 high school wrestlers that have gone through the coaching certification and have come on as Spartan coaches as well. So you'll see them from time to time, and just know that they're not just drop-in volunteers, they are bona fide coaches. All right, so here's what we're gonna do tonight. I'm gonna start at a high level. I'm gonna give you some information about the club at a national level, a state level, a local level, talk about club operations, some expectations, a little bit about competition, about practice, about parent expectations, and about wrestler expectations, and then we will finish up with some Q&A. All right, so let me give you a little bit of history about the club. Johnsburg Wrestling was started in 2014, or 2014, I can't even believe it, by Jared Carlin and Clay Guida. 2 guys that lived in Johnsburg. They were Johnsburg high school wrestlers. Once they finished high school, they're out wrestling for junior college, and they said, you know what? Our program, our high school program, could be a lot stronger if we had a junior Skyhawks program. But at the time, they decided to call it Spartan Wrestling Club. They started, 2 guys started Spartan Wrestling Club in 2014, and to date we've had about 750 wrestlers come through the program. Pretty remarkable when you think about it. Coach Clay Guida, you'll see him from time to time. He's kind of a worldwide celebrity at this point, but he comes back every now and again for practice. He's in Johnsburg, kind of a local legend, MMA fighter. He's just Coach Clay to the kids. They couldn't even believe, like, Coach Clay's on YouTube. They had no idea he's an octagon fighter, retired now. Coach Jared Carlin is a JAW board member. I'll talk about that in a minute. But we practice at Langford Construction. It's a 3rd building on Langford Construction property, and the Carlin family owns Langford Construction. So super grateful that they allow us to do that. And Jared Carlin, who started the club, we're kind of practicing in his backyard, literally. And we're so glad for that. But he still is an active part of the club. So let me give you a little bit of an overarching view of wrestling if this is your first year. Amateur wrestling in the United States is governed by USA Wrestling. Okay, it's all the way from the Olympic level all the way down to the tots and peewees, the 5 and 6 year olds. They set up the rules and the training and the background checks and the certifications for coaches. So all of us coaches have gone through national level training, background check, and screening before we can become a coach. This is really, really important because in today's day and age, you want to make sure that the people who are involved with your program should be there and somebody has checked and verified that they don't have a criminal history and that kind of thing, that they're worthy of being around your kids. We're really, really pleased with the amount of coaches that we have returning, and we screen our coaches pretty strictly, just as far as, you know, being a reputable character, you have your house in order, and that you should be around kids, not just because you want to, but are you good for the program? And we protect that culture very, very well. So I think that you'll enjoy that about our coaches, but the USA Wrestling is an important part of our club charter and club as a whole. At the state level, we are part of Illinois Kids Wrestling Federation, IKWF. You'll see IKWF all over the place. And Illinois Kids Wrestling Federation is the Illinois governing body for kids wrestling. This is not high school, this is not junior high, this is just club wrestling, and Illinois Kids Wrestling Federation, IKWF, is who charters our club. So all of our coaches are on roster with IKWF, and all of our training and that kind of thing, we roll up through a sectional as part of the state association. IKWF has been around since like 1975, something like that, to provide some structure and some rigidity and some repeatability for kids wrestling. So when we go to a tournament, it's not Fox Lakes rules and how they set up a tournament, it's IKWF. And that's really, really important so that everybody gets a consistent experience when they go to wrestling tournaments. At the local level, recently we formed a 501c3 called Johnsburg Area Wrestling. This is the strategy and the financial kind of oversight for youth wrestling in Johnsburg and the area. Johnsburg didn't have any kind of a youth program, and so like a governing body, so we created one. Pretty important from a financial oversight and a strategic oversight. So Spartan Wrestling Club rolls up to JAW. If there was a Spartan Girls, that would roll up to JAW. If there's a Spartan Freestyle or Greco, that would roll up under Johnsburg Area Wrestling. That rolls up under IKWF and USA Wrestling I just talked about. So that's the whole structure. If you see USA Wrestling and everyone had to register and get their USA card, super important because we're part of that organization. One last note about USA Wrestling is they provide additional insurance for us, and I'll give you a quick example of why this is really important. Day 2, week 2 last year, we had an unfortunate incident at the wrestling room. Kid trips over the mat and busts his ankle in the wrestling room. Call mom and dad, like, hey, now what you want to hear, your kid has got an injury at the wrestling room, and they think, oh my gosh, well, accidents happen, and they go to get them fixed up and whatnot, but the insurance, dad's insurance, didn't cover everything. Enter USA Wrestling. USA Wrestling pays for the rest of the medical bills. So it's an important insurance rider. We don't have too many incidents that way, but should there be anything, just know that USA Wrestling is the big brother that's the insurance company in our back pocket, and they do a lot of great things for us. One really important thing that you should know about kids wrestling, part of the training that we have through USA Wrestling is we are what's called mandatory reporters. Mandatory reporters, if you are either in a hospital setting, in a school setting, law enforcement, you're very familiar with this, it is safety on behalf of the children, okay? So we've gone through training to look for things of like mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, that kind of thing. It is our duty as mandatory reporters, as prescribed by USA Wrestling, to notify the proper authorities and to notify USA Wrestling if we come into situations like this, okay? So we take our job very, very seriously as coaches, and you should also know that that's what we're here for, is to protect the kids, give them a great experience, but that's the expectation, is that we're looking out for your kids. All right. That's a little bit about the structure. The last thing I'm going to say about the structure is the rules. You will not get a rule book, but know that we subscribe to one. This is the NFHS, National Federation of High School Rules. They set up all the play rules for volleyball, soccer, swimming, wrestling, football, whatever it might be. And we play by the NFHS rules as well. All the officials play by the NFHS rules as well. It's an exhaustive rule book. It's really dry reading to get through, and you can borrow mine if you'd like to, but just know that we do subscribe to the same rules as high school with a few modifications. If you're familiar with high school wrestling or know people, they may think, what these guys are doing are wrong if you go to a tournament. Just know that there's some slight differences. For example, high school kids wrestle 2-minute periods. 2, 2, 2. If you got a 5-year-old, that's a long time to wrestle. They're going to wrestle 1, 1, 1. So there's slight modifications like that so that they've got a good experience. So that's enough about the structure. Coaches, anything that from a structural perspective, USA Wrestling, IK, or locally? Okay. These guys keep me honest and bring some levity to this. So, everyone should have registered at this point. If you have not registered and you missed it, but you're like, you know what, I want to be part of the program. How do I do this still? Come and see me afterwards. We'll make sure that you get registered. The club fees are, everyone paid $250, and then you should have gone through USA Wrestling, the portal, and gotten a USA number. You can create a USA number and not have a membership with USA Wrestling, and this is the way it works. I just explained this to somebody yesterday, is that you log into the portal, and that's your management. Okay, I had 3 wrestlers at one time. I go in and I can create profiles for each of my 3 kids. You create a profile and that gets their USA number. You still have to buy a membership, okay? And you buy an athlete membership, and we double check this before anyone can participate because again, that's our obligation to USA Wrestling and our insurance coverage. If you signed up in USA Wrestling, got your number, but didn't pay the $55 or $60, whatever it is, for the athletic membership, you will have to do that. We'll reach out and make sure that everybody knows whether you're on the list or if you still have homework to do. Part of the registration fee is a $50 mandatory fundraiser. Sounds great, right? Mandatory fundraiser. The way this works is you're front loading that. You paid us $50 as a fundraiser, and what we're going to do is we're going to give you $50 worth of raffle tickets. And we do like a $500, $250, and $100 raffle during the season. It's just a cash pot, okay? But what we do is we give you the raffle tickets. If you want to put your name on them and throw them in the pot, that's fine. Or you can sell those raffle tickets and you get your money back. See how that works? So in the registration fee, $50, part of that was for the raffle tickets. You just bought them ahead of time. You can sell them, recoup your money. And then the season fee is for just wrestling, just the club. We've got some t-shirts up here. Each one of your kids is going to get a practice t-shirt. Blue group gets blue shirts. Gold group gets gold shirts. Kids are really super happy to get something with a Spartan logo on them. They can wear them to school. Super fun, so we like to do that for the kids. The one thing that is not covered is a singlet. You don't own a singlet. I mean, you can buy one if you want to, but we loan those out to you. And also tournament fees. We'll talk about tournaments in just a minute, but let's talk through some of the practice stuff first. All right, so we start in November. We go November, December, and then we turn and like, oh my gosh, we're only halfway through. And we go January, and we go February, and state series is in March. And some people, by the time they hit January, they're like, oh my gosh, this has got to end sometime. It's a whole lot of fun. The kids are having fun, but it seems like a long way because it's wintertime and it's dark. I'm just going to tell you, it is a long season, but it is super fun. We practice Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Tournaments are typically on Sundays. Sometimes we'll go to Wisconsin tournaments, and they are on Saturdays. We're going to talk specifically about tournaments and practice in just a minute, but I want to give you that heads up of kind of what the schedule is. Parents, we have a requirement for you. And number one is support. Okay? We are a volunteer-run program. Nobody gets paid in this program. Every one of these guys has a day job to do, and they got families as well. We need your support. We're out here on the mat for your kids, sharing our love of wrestling and sharing our time for the benefit of your kids and the benefit of our community. It is a tremendous advantage to have a wrestling club in your backyard. Some towns don't have one, and they wish they would. They wish they did. So we're really fortunate to have that, but we need your support. And also, the tournaments that we go to are run by clubs, just like Spartan Wrestling Club. It's not run by the state, it's not run by IK, it's run by clubs like us. So what we do is, so that our kids have a great experience, and we raise some money for the club to buy new mats, to buy uniforms, that kind of stuff, new singlets, we host 2 tournaments. And it looks like this. We send out invitation to clubs all over the area. It's like throwing a party for 2,000 people. It's nuts. It's a daring endeavor, but we're good at it. What we need is you guys to trust us on this. We organize a tournament, and we have volunteer spots all across the board, from walking around, making sure kids aren't climbing on top of the bleachers, people to get kids weighed in, people to check coaches in, people to serve snacks in the hospitality room. All kinds of easy jobs, but it takes a lot to pull this thing off. So here's what we need is we are going to circulate, probably starting next week, a sign-up genius with some descriptions of what it looks like to participate in our Spartan Beginner Tournament. The Beginner Tournament is December 21st, right around the corner as soon as we hit Thanksgiving. But I want to tell you, it is awesome to be able to run our own tournament and to provide such a great experience for you and invite your families in and watch your son or daughter, grandkids, watch them on the mat right in their own backyard. It is a tremendous experience, and we're going to bring all of you into the fold and ask for your support and volunteer on that. You're not going to get stuck doing all day. It's like 2-hour sessions apiece, and it's a lot of fun. Set up and tear down, super easy stuff, but we need everybody to grab an oar on these types of things. We do 2 tournaments, and this is the reason why, is because we can provide a tremendous experience for your kids in the wrestling room, but we are going to show the wrestling community what good looks like, what good tournaments look like, what a good experience looks like for your kids. And the clubs around the area, they tell us, you guys run one of the best tournaments we have ever been to. So that's a testament to everyone that volunteers with these things and all the hard work that goes into organizing them. We've got a lot of folks that grab an oar, and we can't wait for you to grab an oar with us. Okay, so another thing on the support is, here's a little bit of light reading for you. Here's inside your packet that everybody got. There is a page of do's and don'ts. I'm going to call it do's and don'ts, but it's a parent code of conduct. I'm not going to read through all of these things, but I've got to tell you a couple things. Number 1, you've got to commit to being mom and dad and not a coach. Okay? Number 2 is that you are not a coach, and you're going to let the coaches coach, and you're going to support the coaches. There are unbelievable coaches from around the country, even Cale Sanderson from Penn State, that has gone out and documented what it takes to support your kid in wrestling as a parent. And we're gonna supply you with some of this information on how to best support your kids. And it has nothing to do with being technical. It has nothing to do with wrestling. It is all about making sure that you let them know that you're proud of them and their effort, because this is hard work. Wrestling is extremely difficult, and as far as sport goes, but there is a lot of imposter syndrome. Kids don't believe that they know what they're doing. And can you imagine if mom and dad tell them oh, why didn't you just do this, when mom and dad have never been there before? So we want to draw a distinction between your roles as parents and our roles as coaches. So we are asking this year that you read through these code of conduct, and then you sign this and then bring it back to us. If you don't have one of those, we've got a whole stack of these things, but we're going to ask every parent to make sure that they read through those and sign those things. It's really, really important to creating a good club culture, and we're serious about it. We want your kids to have the best experience, and we want to coach you as parents through that as well.
All right, again, my name is Josh Shorth. I am fortunate enough, I got 3 boys and actually a daughter that did practice only. She's a cheerleader now. But she participated in the wrestling program. Wrestling, as Coach said, is one of the toughest ones out there. But one of the biggest things that you can do is let them go out there and experience it. I have a sophomore right now in high school. I've been coaching since I was 18. So right the minute I got done with high school, I started actually coaching wrestling. My high school coach invited me back to help out one of my buddies who was in a little bit of a funk. We got him downstate, and right there is when I started coaching. When my sophomore wrestles, I go and stand and sit in one of the highest spots I can, away from him so that I am not loud and talking. Okay, he knows now at 15 years old that I got his back. When he was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, it's very important that I would allow the coaches to coach, or at that time any other coaches that are working with them. That here's the whole reason why. We're going to do a little example real quick. Coach Matt, Coach Davis, can I borrow you? Coach Vern, can I borrow you? If Coach Davis and Coach Vern are coaching, and Coach Jay is Coach Vern's son, obviously, or excuse me, father, and he's yelling at him, "Get tougher! Go get him!" Who is he not hearing? Coach Matt. Okay? And that's the biggest thing that you got to recognize and understand is they love and they want to support you and they want to make you proud. And the best thing you can do is let them know that you made them proud. They get pinned, you're proud of them. Okay? They pin them, you're proud of them. As long as they don't run off the mat, off crying, we'll pull them back. We're proud of them. Okay, so that's one of the biggest things that's there. But if you see this right now, if Coach Jay's behind, go right behind him here, Coach. Go right behind him. That's right. See how they're getting right behind him, and he's yelling right behind him. He can't hear. He can't recognize. He can't know that type of stuff. So that's a big thing. That's a part of it.
The kids are taught in practice to listen to the coach's voice, and if I interrupt that, they're distracted from what they're trying to accomplish. Okay? And then the conclusion of that, they're going to only hear yelling and screaming. And who are they going to listen to and pick out that voice of either coach? Because you're going to have a lot of yelling and screaming in a tournament on every mat that's out there. So the coach has got to say what goes on.
So we have nothing but their best interest. There will be excitement, there will be nerves, there will be tears, there will be celebrations, and there'll be everything in between. Okay? And all we ask is trust us. We've been doing it for a long time. It's a very hard thing to do. If you don't know, you can lean on your other parents. Okay? Mrs. Katie Smith, last year, you had a young wrestler. What happened in those first couple matches? I don't know, Mom. I don't know if I want to do this, Mom. I'm not sure. Come on, Bob, we got you. Then what happens? Victories! Wins, and here come the smiles, and then the defeats happen. And we teach them how to behave. Because we live in a society where YouTube teaches them how to behave. And what happens when they lose the video game? Scream, yell, quit, do all. We have to erase all of this stuff. Okay? We take our headgear off, we shake our coach's hands, and we're all proud of you for going out there and competing. And that's the greatest thing of this sport. Okay? So know that and recognize that. Do we want champions? Yes, we want champions. Do we want to try to go to state? Sure, we want to try to go to state. But if your son or daughter goes through every practice, goes through every tournament, gives everything they have, that is what we're looking for, and that's what's most important. Okay? And please understand that.
Last note on that is, you'd think that these guys, having kids in the program, coming up through the program, they know best. When I talk about club culture, we're serious about this. One of the rules that is an absolute non-negotiable at Spartan Wrestling Club, Coach Davis, what is it? I heard, Matthew.
Yeah, you can't coach your own kid. That was a tough one for me.
Yeah.
Coach Jorth has had kids in the program.
Still
McDonald's had kids in the program. Vern's had kids in the program. Davis has had, I've had kids, every one of us. But the rule is this: you can't coach your own kid because I need to be dad for my kids. I trust these guys 100% to coach my kids. I need to be dad. I can't be talking wrestling with my kid because they think that my love is predicated on their performance on the mat, and it can you can put your relationship in danger. So it's super, super important that you draw that distinction.
Yeah, when I first heard this, I was not happy about this going on, right? Like I'm like, I know what's best for my kid, and just going through it and understanding it, now I'm removed from it, it's the best thing in the world. This is the hardest sport. You will see all emotions. If you tell them that you love them and you care about them and that they did a good job, that's the best thing that you can do for them. And then they'll grow a love for the sport, whatever sport it is, whether it's wrestling, baseball, whatever it is, and then they'll start focusing on that. So trust the process.
And so much so the kids do know that, okay? My son asked me if I'm going to coach in football next year, and I said, I coach you in wrestling. He goes, no, you don't. That's true, actually, I don't. I'm just kind of orchestrating what's going on, but I do not coach him in wrestling unless it's an emergency situation, okay? And recognizing and know that. The other thing and the last thing is, too, we don't want to hammer on it too much. Do not be that rear view mirror parent. Driving from a tournament, let's just say it was Fox Lake, we're 5 minutes away, and you're just looking in the rear view mirror. What was that? That wasn't your best effort. Okay? That's the first thing to get kids to just bail out of everything. All right? The more that you can do that, the better. If you can't control yourself, remove yourself. You're the adult. Okay? And that's all we ask. If you're having a hard time with it, we've all been there. Okay? We will help you out every step along the way. I'll go hang out with you on the top of the bleachers too. Okay? Whatever else it is. But please understand and know it. If you're sitting there right now like, what did I just sign up for? Okay? All we're doing is we're going to put this all out here. And the thing about it is I can see nods because there's a handful of you that have been here 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Like, yeah, I was that mom. That's okay. I thought I was going to sneak down on the mat. And I realized I just let them grow. Let them spread their wings. Let them leave the nest a little bit. And great things are going to happen.
Just one more thing to add on to that. If you guys have questions or you're dealing with something with your kid, right, that you want to be the dad and you want to make the right decision or be the mom to make that right decision, let us know what's going on, right? Like, you have our contact information. Let us know what's going on, and we can work with that in practice or even in the tournament, right? We're here to help you as you're here to help us, right? It's a mutual benefit relationship.
Any questions on that before Coach Drew keeps going?
Yeah.
You will see other parents and other clubs be almost on the mat, especially in Wisconsin.
It's nuts.
If you then all of a sudden you'll see, if you watch it, you'll be like, oh, that's why we don't do that. Because the kid's trying to run to mom's arms, or the other kid's giving the bird to dad. Oh, I get it. Cool.
Yeah, so all of this is, like, we're throwing a ton of information at you, and, like, there's more coming. We want you to have the best experience and the handles on a new sport. A lot of you raised your hand and said this is brand new. This is different than anything else, so we want to make sure that you're equipped, you're in the know, and that's why we're sharing all this information with you. Let's take a stop at practice real quick. You probably saw that there's 2 practice groups, blue group and gold group. Blue group is going to be the younger kids, 5, 6, and some 7s. 6, 7, did you see what I
There
did
you go. That's right. Gotcha. It comes out all the time.
All the time.
I swear I didn't do that on purpose with my kids, 5, 6, and 7s, or we like the tots and bantams. We try and put them in the blue group, and then everyone else goes to the gold group. There will be some horse trading as we start to develop kind of this schedule, and know that if you get bounced from gold group to blue group, it's probably because maybe one of their friends is in there, or they're a lighter weight and they don't have a practice partner at the gold group. But it's all in design for the best experience for the wrestlers, okay? So don't get too wound up about, oh, is my kid going to be in blue group? Does he graduate to gold group? Like, this stuff kind of happens, but it's not that rigid. We want to put the kids in the best position for them to succeed and have the best experience. So we break them into 2 groups, and we teach at 2 different levels. The blue group goes at 4:45 to 5:45, and the gold group goes at 5:45 to 7:15. I will tell you this. My kids run cross country. Cross country practice is supposed to be over at 5. And my wife is cooking dinner, and she's got dinner on the table at 5:15. They should be home. We live 7.5 minutes away. Like, do the math. Like, they should have plenty enough time. 5:45 rolls around, and she wants to tear the coach's head off. Like, either my kids are screwing around or what's going on. They walk through the door and they're like, oh, coach held us over for a few minutes. A few minutes? Our schedule is not that flexible. And this happens all the time. You have kids in the program and you go to pick them up because you got another kid in another program. The worst thing that we can do for you is make you sit for 10, 15, who knows, maybe 20 minutes because we're working through some stuff. And I use this as an illustration to tell you this. We will start on time and we will end on time. That's our commitment to you. You can plan around it. There's no guesswork. You know that if you walk in at practice at 4:45. If you walk in at 5 o'clock, you know that it's already going to be happening. It is going off like a train whistle. Like 4:45, we are up and jogging. We're moving. Okay? So it's really, really important to be early. And hear me on this. Some of you guys will probably appreciate this, but early is actually on time, and on time is late in our world. Okay? So if you show up for blue group practice and you're at 5:45 coming right through the door, you're late. Kids got to get their shoes on, take their coat off. It's going to be 5 minutes before they're on the mat. Make sure that you're early, ready to go at the time of practice. As far as practice goes, the only thing that they really need is a pair of wrestling shoes. Okay? A pair of wrestling shoes. We've got loaner shoes at the gym, and you're like, oh, gross. Loaner shoes? Kids only wear them for a season, and they turn them in because their feet grow. Like you guys know, you're buying shoes for your kids like every 3 months. So what happens is, this is probably one of the 18 pairs that I've donated to the club because my kids outgrow their shoes. The kids throw their shoes in the bin at the end of the year, and if you don't want to go out and buy shoes, if you can't go out and buy shoes, you can look in the loaner bin and you can grab a pair of shoes. There's no checkout on that thing. There's no waiver on those. Take the shoes. They're your shoes for the season. Bring them back, throw them in the bin for someone to use for next season. If you buy shoes, wonderful. Buy shoes, just make sure that your kid knows which ones are their shoes, because invariably we find shoes. We had a try-it night. One night, there's already a lost pair of shoes at the wrestling room. I kid you not, like somebody left without their shoes on. But you get it, your parents. Wrestling shoes is all they need. Make sure that they bring wrestling shoes in a water bottle. To show up for practice, shorts and a t-shirt, that's perfect. But make sure there's no zippers, no snaps, no buttons, no hoods, no strings, anything that could be a danger to the kids getting their fingers wrapped up into, getting scratched. Really, really important to be on the mat, okay? Up here, we've got a whole bunch of different headgears. Custom headgear. Someone bought custom headgear. Maybe I bought custom headgear, and now it goes into the bin for loaners. My kids are through the program. You're gonna make some purchases, and you're gonna end up donating these things. Here's a small youth pair of headgear. This is tiny. We've got all kinds of loaner headgears at the room. Your kids will need headgear for tournaments, but they don't necessarily need them for practice right away, okay? So for day one, they need shoes, shorts and a t-shirt, and we're ready to go. For tournaments, kids wear a singlet. They'll need their headgear, shoes, and maybe a warm-up. The singlets, we own the singlets, and we'll loan them to your kids. This is a super, super cool club experience, okay? We're not going to ask you to buy a $100 singlet. If you want to go buy one, there's tons of options for you, but it's got to be a Spartan singlet. We'll loan those things to you. You pay us a $50 deposit, and we'll collect that, give you a singlet. End of the year, you bring the singlet back, we'll give you your money back. It's really that simple. There are warm-ups on the website. We just opened up the Spartan store, and you can buy some super cool warm-ups like these shirts for your kids. If you want to spend money on that, that's great. Otherwise, know that they will be getting a Spartan shirt coming to practice, and we will also have a less expensive Spartan store. It's just t-shirts. I can't tell you, I'm not really into buying $35 t-shirts for 3 kids. I'm just not. So we're gonna have a Spartan store with reasonable prices on t-shirts and some hoodies and sweatshirts and stuff like that. So gear up your kids. They want to wear this stuff to school, but the only expectation is they come to a tournament, singlet, headgear, shoes, and a water bottle. Pretty easy stuff. Coaches, anything that way? All right. As far as practice goes, we know that this is something brand new for you. If this is your first year, we're a drop and run practice, meaning you drop your kids off and you run. We do this for a couple reasons. You're allowed to observe for the first week. We want you to be comfortable with the program, but after the first week, you got to go. And this is the reason why. Your presence is really important. Your presence here tonight is really important. I get to see you, you get to see us, and there's something powerful in that contract of presence. Your presence will always, always, always trump ours. Your approval will trump ours. So if you're in the wrestling room, we're giving instruction, your child is looking at you for approval instead of looking at us. And it happens. And what happens? We tell them, hey, get into neutral position. Here we go. We're going head to head. Whistle blows. And they're looking over at mom. Bam. They can get blasted because they're not paying attention to what they should be. So there's a safety component, but also your presence is more important than ours will ever, ever be. Okay? So you've got to trust us on that. We want you to trust us on that. So after the first week of observation, like maybe it's 1 or 2 practices, maybe you're there for all 3. After that, you'll know either I trust these guys or like I see what's going on, or you're like, you know what? Wrestling's not what I thought, and we'll have a different conversation, which is totally fine as well. There is a 2-week drop period. I don't know of any other programs that are doing this, but if you get in and you're like, this wrestling thing is just not for us, you got 2 weeks to figure that out, and you can drop and we'll give you 100% refund.
However, they're going to come home tired and sore and like, oh my goodness, this is hard. It's okay. Please know that that is okay. Okay? Because sitting on the couch, eating Cheetos and playing Fortnite is a long, long road you're setting up for the rest of their life.
Absolutely. So
my kids are probably doing that right now.
It is a hard sport. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Hygiene is really important as well. One of the things that can be the most damaging for other wrestlers is if you send your child to the wrestling room and they've got long fingernails. Okay, if you work in the medical field, you understand how dirty fingernails can be. And a scratch from a fingernail, this is where we get impetigo and we get skin diseases from. Okay, there's a lot of bacteria underneath there. Make sure your children have trimmed nails before they come to the wrestling room. If they do not, we do have trimmers. They will trim their own fingernails and to their best of their abilities, or we're going to try and help them and make sure that they're not going to be a danger to any other wrestlers. After every single practice, your children will need to shower, as Coach says, with soap. Okay? This is really, really important because we run a very, very clean wrestling room, all things considered, okay? Wrestling, you're rolling on the mat with other kids and like there's feet on the mat and this kind of thing. Wrestling gets a bad rap from the healthcare community and people think, you know, oh, this is kind of gross, you're on the mats. There are skin conditions that develop. Thankfully, we are meticulous about mopping the mats after every single practice. We tell parents, make sure your kids shower after every single practice so that we can manage any kind of issues that are in the room and we don't spread them. We went to a tournament last year where a significant number of our kids came back with ringworm.
We're not going to that tournament again.
It's inexcusable. This is hygiene, and if you all work on the same understanding that, look, you can do your part, make sure your kids shower, make sure they got trimmed fingernails, like this is not difficult, okay? If there are any kind of funky skin conditions like you're just questioning, bring it to Coach Jorth. He's seen everything. Bring it to Coach Matt. He's had everything. But don't feel embarrassed by it. Like it just happens with wrestling. So we want to make sure that the kids are in a safe and fun environment. So just make sure you manage that.
Coach, I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, Just curious, not that it's time to us, but is there like a protocol that we do, like so happens come ringworm, just let you know? Or like, is there a period that they're done wrestling, or what is the actual like thing?
So real quick. One of the kids that aged out of the program, he came in as a young kid and then came up to the high school. He was a coach with us. Eric Bate. His mom, Michelle Bate, is a physician's assistant at a dermatology practice. She is so good, she's on standby for us, okay? If there's a condition that way, like that needs to be looked at before you go to a dermatologist or something like that, like we got her on speed dial. But she's not available at every practice.
Yeah, this is something that we talk about just as preventative. The biggest thing to understand is very rarely does it happen. If your kid comes with something and there's a rash, just tell us before practice. We'll say, oh, or like, oh no, that thing's okay, or hey, we're gonna sit them out tonight. Let's see what it looks like tomorrow. Okay, and that's the biggest thing. We don't want you worrying about it. I have again been around the sport. I don't know, 30 some years. I got ringworm once in my life as a sophomore in high school. Okay, if you clean and you take care of yourself, every once in a while, but one out of the number of times I've been on the mat over 30 years, I'll take those odds in anything any day. So just know that if there's something there, or if they're like, hey, something in my back itches, can you look at it? Please look at it. Like, don't ignore that. Just take a look, make sure it's fine, but it's not something that we're like, this is happening every week or every month. We just want to make sure that everyone's aware so that if something does come up, you're not, blindsided by it.
Yeah. So again, we run a really clean room, and we haven't had any kind of issues that way. But you want to know about it. So someone says, "Oh, your kid's wrestling. Enjoy the ringworm." Listen, that's not fair. Like, wrestling gets a bad rap. All right, we got practices 3 nights a week, and someone's got another kid's got in your family, another child has swim practice, CCD. Maybe you've got a nursing home visit with grandma on a regular basis. Can my kid miss wrestling once a week? We don't take attendance, but you signed up for full value. If you miss 33% of the practices, how well do you think your child's going to keep up? You can miss. You don't have to email us, text us, and say, you know what, he's not feeling well. Just like once in a while, it's not a big deal. And if your child is having a difficult day at school, like sometimes the wheels come off and you're like, I don't know who this animal is, this is not my child. You can keep them home for that night. They don't necessarily need to go to wrestling. Or if you're like, listen, you need to get yourself in order, you're going to wrestling because you know that those coaches are going to keep your kid in order. You have that option to hold your kid out, and we don't take attendance. I'm going to tell you this though. On Mondays after tournaments, we do a pin ceremony. It's not really a big ceremony, but you got to know what this is. If kids win by fall, if they score a pin in a tournament, you would think Monday they are heroes, because what they get is about 7 cents worth of plastic and pin. It's a safety pin with a couple of beads on it, but the kids love these because they're bragging rights. They wear them on their hats, they wear them on their backpacks, they wear them on their shirts or on their warm-ups, and that lets everybody know I stuck somebody. It's awesome, okay? Mondays are not one to be missed. Kids are going to know after the first tournament, oh, Blake Davis got a pin. I want a pin, okay? Pins are super cool, and the kids love these things. Not on the schedule yet, but we're going to do a mom's night, and we're going to need some help building some pins. It's a small task, but we're glad for your help in that. We'll supply all the things for it, and you guys can make some pins for us. That'd be awesome. But if you miss Mondays, your kids will be mad at you. Tournaments. All the tournaments are going to be on our website. This is a fluid schedule because sometimes tournaments end up either filling or we have to pivot and go to a different tournament. We are going to try and get the list of tournaments for you published, locked in on the website with links on how to register for this thing. This is the only sport that competition is optional. This sounds really silly, but you can practice all season long and not go to any tournaments. There's no requirement that way. If you've been around with the club before, you know this. Like, if it doesn't fit with your schedule, you're traveling for Christmas break or whatever, and you're like, we're just not going to be around. Okay, don't register for that tournament. It is your choice if you want to go to the beginner tournament if you're a first and second year wrestler. All the other tournaments are open to everybody, but the beginner ones are only open to first and second year wrestlers. Don't miss those. We'll give you guidance on if we think that your child is not ready to go to a tournament, because the last thing we want is for them to get absolutely blown out in a tournament and they're like having a terrible time understanding that, like, why did I just get blown up in this tournament? I've been practicing so much. Maybe they need some more work, and if you're questioning whether or not you're ready for tournament, just ask a coach. A couple things about tournaments. They're not traditional 8-man brackets. Maybe we will see a couple of 8-man brackets, but traditionally, they're 4-man round robins. Your kid will wrestle 3 matches, okay? Hopefully they'll have 4 guys and 4 girls in their bracket, and they'll get 3 matches. And all the tournaments hand out medals. You want to talk about, the smile so big on a 5 and 6-year-old kid that gets to earn a medal. They wear this medal because they earned it, and it's super, super cool. Okay? It's not a participation trophy. They may have gone out there and gotten pinned 3 times, but they're working real hard. They came in 4th place. It's still a good day. Okay? So the tournaments are blocked weights, meaning your kid doesn't have to starve. They don't have to be at any kind of a weight class. They go in, they weigh them, and they say, hey, the 4 closest kids of this age, of this division, of these weights are going to wrestle together. And that's how they decide that. It's called blocked weights. Coaches, anything that way? No. All right. Cruising on. Parents, I got to tell you, if you've not been to a wrestling tournament, it is an emotional event. Question back there.
Yes, do they separate boys and girls, or does it depend on the tournament?
It depends on the tournament. The bigger tournaments we have are going to do the best they can. This year there are a couple girls-only tournaments we're looking at, so we're trying to, as the girls' sport grows, which I saw a stat today, 1 out of every 5 wrestlers right now are girls officially this high school season. That is a number that probably none of us ever saw coming this quickly. They do the best they can. However, depending on weight, depending on age, that's where it kind of becomes a wild card.
For the young ages, the kids are, the boys and
Doesn't
girls are
matter as
wrestling, and it's not an issue. It gets a little bit different in high school for obvious reasons, and hopefully, girls wrestling takes off. Otherwise, I wouldn't want my daughter wrestling boys. Just saying. All right. The tournaments are super emotional events. You're watching your son or daughter maybe wrestle for the first time, or for the 100th time. It doesn't change, because you're going to witness your child going into battle with another child about their same weight, and they're both trying to destroy each other within bounds, okay? What I mean is they're going to wrestle their hearts out, and you are rooting so much for your child, or for them to get off of their back so that they don't end up getting pinned. It is emotionally charged, and it is awesome. It is an awesome experience. Breathe at tournaments, okay? What happens at the tournaments is your child will have to check in at a table, at a mat. This is important stuff, and it's worth walking through. No parents are allowed to scoring tables. No parents are allowed in the bullpens. One of the fastest ways to get kicked out of Spartan Wrestling Club is if you helicopter your child to the bullpen or the check-in tables at tournaments. What this means is when all the tots are coming up to wrestle, okay, some tournaments will go to a bullpen, a staging area. This is okay. Every single tot feels like, oh my gosh, this is nervous. Their body starts shaking a little bit. They don't know what's coming up. After a couple tournaments, they get it. It's age-appropriate anxiety because they just don't know what to expect. Let them have that space, okay? They grow in that space. We don't want to have parents at the bullpen or at the tables, at the check-in table. You can bring your child down to the check-in table so that they know which one is table 3 out of 15. That's okay. Let them go there. There's all kinds of coaches around at the tournaments. We'll make sure that they're where they need to be. The last thing that we want is for you to be coddling your child. They're in a nice safe space of mom or dad's lap, and everything is warm, everything is lovey, everything is soft, and everything is quiet. Like, hey, you're going to be just fine. This is going to be great. You're going to go out there and wrestle. And you got another kid over there that is the same age that is sitting there pacing back and forth. He's ready to go to war with your kid because he's been coached to, when we're in competition, get your mind ready. Here we go. We're going into competition. You should be thinking single legs, double legs. I score first. And you're over there with your child like, hey, this is going to be great. You're going to love it. We're going to get ice cream afterwards. He's going to get steamrolled. Okay, so the takeaway there is do not go to the bullpen and do not sit with your kid at staging. Okay? There are coaches there, and your child will be nervous about these things. And it is okay.
I will even point out, do not sit in the bleachers with them like that. Okay? It's natural human behavior. If we're out on the plains or out in the desert and you're keeping them warm and safe, they're not going to want to leave you. Okay? So as you're there, as you know that they're coming up, some of the older kids are wrestling, you got a tot coming up, it's like, get off me. All right, you guys, let's go find your buddies here because all you guys are coming. Let's find your headgear, whatever it is. Get them kind of woken up a little bit. Okay, and again, and lean on the moms or dads that are around you that have done this before. Okay, I see again a lot of nodding heads like, yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. We figured it out. Okay, and just trust that. It's very hard to do, but know that because as Coach Drew said, nobody in life can be ready. Nobody at work, we all roll out of bed, we got to get our coffee or whatever else. But if you sat in bed until you literally had to go to work, you wouldn't be ready. And it's the same kind of idea right there.
The reason we bring this up is because some parents thought, like, yeah, I hear you, coach, but I'm doing my thing. And I'll tell you the way this works. You get one warning. This is in your parents' code of conduct. The second time is a one-on-one conversation with one of the coaches. And the third time, it is a love letter telling you that this is not the right club for you. Okay? We don't promote that. It is counter to what we are teaching the kids, and so we need you to understand that this is the way that we operate. If any of our kids are wrestling, you will see any of our own children are wrestling, you will see the coaches are one mat away. If you know that you are an emotional person and you want to take a video, you want to be close to the action, stay one mat away. You can still see, but the last thing that we need is mom banging on the mat. I'm not going to tell you which club they're from, but it's right down the road near Pingree. Let's see. There's a couple of moms that are just repeat offenders. They are on the side of the mat screaming and banging on the mats, yelling at their children, and coaches can't cope. It is embarrassing. The kids are embarrassed afterwards, and I share that with you so that you know what bad behavior looks like. We don't do that kind of thing, and it's super important to maintain that level of distance for your child.
True. One example of that is when I was coaching a Spartan wrestling, and mom came right up onto the mat, and I'm trying to coach. She's coaching also, and her son looks at mom. That's what we're talking about. Stay away, let the coaches do it. And if you get a warning, just like Drew said, you keep doing that, go on. Because it's harder for the coach to communicate with the kid on the mat.
Your presence is so much more powerful than ours. In March of this year, we were down in Peoria for the IKWF state finals. One of the kids that has been with us since 5 years old, he's 14 this year, so most of his life he has seen the Spartan coaches. He knows us well. We are important to him because he's grown up wrestling. We're on the state floor, and we got to go to mat 6 for the medal round. It all comes down to this. He is in a medal round. He's either going to take 5th or 6th place at state. This is a big deal. We're walking around the corner of the mats, snapping his headgear, and giving him the last bits of advice. Okay, you got to score first. This guy loves to shoot fast. We're giving him all these kind of pointers. Hey, do you have any questions? Where's my dad? We're in an arena with 7,000 people watching. Where's my dad? He's right up here in the second row, and he's up there waving. Big smile comes across his face. I've been in this kid's life for the past 9 years, coaching him, and the one thing that he wants to know is, where's my dad? Okay? He went out there, and he scored his medal, but that presence of dad was so important. Now imagine if dad was down on the floor right next to us. All right, you ready to go? Ready to go? There's no way that kid's listening for me. He just needed to see that dad was there. The presence is super powerful. Just being there. Didn't need to hear his voice. Just need to know that dad was there. This is not an easy sport, parents. This is super intense, even for the littlest ones. They learn some stuff. There is all kinds of wins and all kinds of losses, because in wrestling there is never ever a tie. There always will be a winner, and there always will be a loser. The sooner that they can get this and harden themselves and understand that I want to win, I want to do what it takes to win, the better off they'll be. And we believe so much so that this contributes to their character, that we've got it written on the walls, our 5 or our 6 core values, and we talk through those things. Give your kids the chance to fail and to build themselves up, and you should support them. Okay? We're doing the same thing. We're not a shouting practice. We don't demean the kids. We make sure that we're building them up. Sometimes it's loud in the room, but it is at an appropriate level for the age groups. Okay? In wrestling, there's nowhere to hide, and so it's not a sport for everyone. It is for those kids that find, you know what, this is something pretty cool, and I want to test myself, and I have some fun with my buddies doing it. But make no mistake, winning is the objective. We live in a pretty cush, soft time where, you know what, everyone gets to participate and everybody gets to listen. We're on the mat. We're on the mat to win. We teach the kids that. Excellence is practiced. Okay? Respect is practiced in the room, and we believe that we provide an opportunity for tremendous growth opportunities for your kids. Here's something free for you. When your kids have a loss, they need to sit in that loss, whether it's from practice or from a tournament. And this is the way that I've discovered to handle this, okay? Kid comes off the mat, even if it's not my own kid, I'll tell them, listen, you know, after we talk about, look, this is what happened in the match, and we give them a little bit of coaching, turn them over to you. If they're still sulking, we will come by and tell them, listen, you've got 5 minutes to feel sorry for yourself, and then we're back up and moving. You give them permission, and you give them the boundary to sit and sulk for 5 minutes, and that's okay. They need to experience that. You get 5 minutes to feel sorry for yourself, and then we're back up and going. Okay? Try this at home, even before wrestling starts. If kids are disappointed or whatever, like what, one kid doesn't get to eat because his brother ate all his ice cream. Like, hey, you know what? Sorry. Like, you get 5 minutes to feel sorry for yourself, and then let's go do something else. We're getting to the end of this thing here. There's a lot of information about tournaments and about what's happening with practices, upcoming events, and that kind of thing. We communicate, I would say we over-communicate with you. If you got an email, got a text from Spartan Wrestling Club, it's coming from us. That comes out every single Sunday, okay? We send a message about what happened at tournaments, about where we're going next, what you need to know about this week, when is picture night, when does the Spiritwear store close. All of this stuff we are sending to you. Sundays is your day to receive that information. If you miss it, it's posted on the website. The website is our single source of truth. You will find all the announcements on the website. If you missed something, you're like, oh shoot, what were they talking about? Go back to the website, it's out there. If you've got questions, you can email us at info@SpartanWrestlingClub.org, and it goes to Coach Jorth, myself, and Coach JD. We try and get back to you. It is a catch-all email address so that you know that it's just not one person getting buried in their email. If you need to speak to a coach about any kind of a situation, if you can do it quickly before practice, that's fine. Otherwise, after practice works best. I will tell you this, that if I'm short with you before practice, it is because I want to get that train moving on time. Coach Jorth largely runs the goal practice. Same thing. He's not being a jerk by kind of dismissing you and saying like, okay, that's great, that's fine. Like, no, like I think he's got a ring. That's fine, we gotta go. Might push you off to another coach because he's got to get that train rolling, okay? Takeaway is this, after practice is best if you need to speak with us. This Spartan Wrestling Club community is going to be a super rich experience for you, but there's ups and there's downs. My ask of you is this. If there are times when you feel like, you know what, something either went awry, or I feel like, you know what, my kid was looked over, or like they didn't have a coach at a tournament, or no matches will start without a coach, just so you know. But sometimes there's situations where like you feel like you need questions answered. Come talk to us. The last thing that we want you to do is go out to the public court of opinion and post your grievances for everyone to see, when really that could be taken care of with a single conversation. We are dads, we are volunteers, we are your coaches, we are part of your community, and we want the best for your kids. We want to get to know you, we want to get to know your kids, and create a tremendous experience for them. So make sure you communicate with us. Coaches, what have I missed?
You guys have questions? Don't be shy. Yes.
When do we turn in all of our paperwork and stuff?
Drew is excited about it on the first night. He's sitting there waiting.
You can turn that in at any practice, sooner the better. We are going to, cross your fingers here, I scheduled our picture day like back in July, so I got to remind our photographer, I'm hoping that we're still on track, for November 20th, it's early November. Everyone needs to get singlets before then, so what that means is you're going to take the singlets, deposit form that's in your packet, you're going to sign off on that thing and bring us a check. Those are going to be coming in on like every single practice. Just say, hey coach, I've got a single deposit form. Any of these guys can grab that, get you a singlet, and we'll make sure that you get what you need. Just stop us at, if it can be done quickly, beginning of practice, otherwise at the end of practice preferred. Homework before we start practice. Make sure that you have a plan for wrestling shoes. If you don't know that like you're gonna buy them or you're gonna see if there's some in the room, that's fine. Show up for the first night of practice with no shoes. We will wrestle in socks for the first couple of practices, it's fine. You can look at the shoes. Otherwise, make sure that you buy shoes. Make sure that you have a USA Wrestling membership. I will be looking at every single child to make sure that they are on green on USA Wrestling. If your profile shows up as red, you are not in compliance. You need to pay for an athletic membership for your child. They will not be able to wrestle on night one. They will have to sit out and watch. Look for an email on this Sunday with group assignments, Spirit War form, and a ton of other information. Make sure that you read the parent code of conduct, sign that thing, and make sure that you take a look through all of the information that we've provided here. And then first practice is Monday the 10th.
Two quick things. If you or a neighbor or someone that is in the community and wants to do this is having any financial struggles, we never want a young man or woman to be held back. So please let us know. One of the advantages of having our Johnsburg area wrestling is we have some financial backing for that. We also have local businesses and individual donors that are willing to help out. So if you're like, you had Timmy down the street and mom's not able to provide the money, but he really wants to wrestle, we can help out with that. Okay, and so that's a big thing. Or if there's any financial struggles throughout the season, you're like, boy, I'd really love to get my kids into the tournament, but things are tight with the holiday season, things like that, just let us know. Okay, we'll do the best we can to help support that. Second off, if you have interest in coaching or enjoying this, if you're doing this, like, yeah, this is what we need more as a society, okay, and you're interested in doing something like that, come talk to us afterwards. We have kind of a set-up system for that, but that's something where we're always looking for more hands and more help. So as things overturn and things move along, we have more people that we trust that are here to continue to keep Spartan Wrestling rolling.
Coach Hugo, you'll meet him during practice, is not a wrestler. He came in and we're like, hey, does anybody have the interest in coaching? And he steps forward, he says, hey coach, he's like, I don't know anything about wrestling. He's like, but I'm willing. We'll take that. We will absolutely bring you along, and you don't have to know anything, but you just have to be good at repeating what one of the head coaches, one of the clinicians says. So just know that there's a place for everyone in that. This time we're way ahead of schedule, so I want to make sure that we get any questions answered. There's no dumb questions. First-year parents, you go first. Anyone have any questions? I should ask, what questions do you have? Okay. Make sure your kids have a water bottle with their name on it. Second-year parents, any questions? Make sure your children use the bathroom before they come to the wrestling room. We have a one-seater bathroom, and it never fails. Blow the whistle. All right, everyone, here we go. And the kids are like, Coach, can I go to the bathroom? I'm like, where have you been for the last 10 minutes? The whistle means bathroom. Got it. Like, this is how they think. Make sure they use the bathroom before they leave the house. Third-year parents, any questions? All right. On a closing note, welcome to Spartan Wrestling Club. We have a whole lot of fun. This is a tremendous community because you're part of it, and it is an awesome experience for your kids to become uncomfortable wrestling, but the amount of pride that they gain from being trained and self-sufficient on the mat is absolutely incredible. That's the reason that all of these guys are here, is because it has done something so incredible in our lives that we want to share that with all these kids, and that's why we're on the mat, okay? Because we love it so much and it changed us, and we want that for your kids as well. So with that, I think that we are complete. If there's any questions, please talk to any of these coaches, come up and speak to us. If you forgot or want to ask a question in private, you can email us. We're happy to chat with you one-on-one. And thank you for coming out, and we will see you on Monday.